Welcome to Tea Time with Dakota. Today we're drinking ginger tea by Traditional Medicinals. I'm with Mackenzie Howe of the Wild Reeds. She's about to play a show. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, speaking of, their new record's called Cheers.
True.
I didn't even tell her to do that.
I don't think about it, it just comes out.
So you've been on tour for how long now?
I guess about 3 weeks now.
3 weeks. And
Yeah.
how long is it going to be total?
We get home in less than a week, and we have 10 days off, and then another 3 or 4 week run.
And they're from LA. But was there talk of you living here at some point?
No, we just spent a lot of time here. Our
Yeah.
label's based here.
Got it.
2 of us had significant others here, so we were just here all the time.
Yeah. There's kind of a Nashville, LA
Yeah.
something's happening.
Yes, big connection.
Yeah. So the new album, when did it come out? It was very recent.
March 8th, International Women's Day.
Genius.
We didn't even need to. This
You're
happened.
like, oh, this
Yeah.
is great. 'Cause
Yeah.
And how do you feel like it's going? Like the reception of it?
I feel like it's going really well. I mean, the only criticism we've had is what was expected. We have 3 singers and songwriters in our band.
Yeah.
So I expected there to be a little pushback because we really chose to explore our differences on this record and almost make it like each of us making our own record but together. So there's been a little bit of like, it kind of doesn't sound coherent. But we're also in this age where people put out only singles and they all sound completely different. And
Yeah.
so we feel like a lot of that also has to kind of do with our gender. I think there's been a lot of bands out there, male-fronted bands that have different singers and songwriters, and no one thinks twice. But so it's been good overall. It's been
Yeah.
really fun to play the songs and like.
That's
tour.
really interesting because I listened to the record and didn't hear that at all, which is one of the things I was going to ask you is like, how the hell you guys do that? Because
Wow.
I feel like even as the primary songwriter in my band, I still feel like there will be a song that feels very R&B, and then there'll be one that feels like super singer-songwriter. So I was like watching some video of you guys, and I'm like, how are there 3 of them, and it still sounds so cohesive?
I'm really surprised that you felt like it was so cohesive. That makes me really happy because we struggle with that, and we try to compromise and change our styles visually, sonically, writing-wise for each other. And on this record, we were a little more like, you want slap back on your vocal? You want a dry vocal? You want grit? You want soul? Do it. Just do it, and we'll see what happens. And we took a chance. So it might just be the spirit of it that's cohesive, or the way we're presenting ourselves. I don't know. But I'm glad you felt that way.
No, I totally did. Do you feel like, as a writer, the genre you're sort of writing for evolves as you grow? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know you guys would probably be categorized as like indie rock Americana, but do you necessarily feel that as a writer?
No. I mean, we've almost never felt like that was the right thing for us, but it definitely was on some of our older stuff. We were, for the most part, a folk band in the beginning. We listen to different music. We've gotten a little older. We've played a little more. Our interests have changed. It happens.
Yeah.
And so now I think we don't really feel like anything. We're just like, we really give a shit about songwriting. And the production part's fun, and what the song ends up sounding like is fun, but at the heart of it, we all really care about, like, can you just play it on an acoustic guitar? And is it still a good song, you know?
Do you feel like you get pressured by anybody on your team or just by the industry in general to like fit in a certain box?
Yeah, there's definitely like desire for radio-friendly songs, but we're also so picky and meticulous that it's really hard for us to just like compromise on that.
Yeah.
So in general, our label is really supportive. We've been asked a couple times to do a cover of a song for, syncing purposes or for a commercial, or to write something very similar to it. And it just depends on if you want to be like a career songwriter. And that's some amazing artists are career songwriters, and then there's people who are just kind of ghostwriters and songwriters, and they just pump them out.
Yeah.
And we've all toyed with the idea of it, and it pays, but it's also like tedious and maybe takes the self-expression out of it. You know?
Yeah. Because I've done a couple of co-writes where the end goal is like, let's get this synced. And I could just be doing anything else.
Yeah.
It's like I could be waiting tables with that little of myself.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's really funny. because at the end of the day, you do need money.
Yeah.
Money would be nice. Do you guys still have jobs back home? Like, I guess not day jobs, like side hustles? Or is this your full-time thing now?
For the most part, we don't. We like all had day jobs and we quit them a couple years ago. But we also, most of us still take stuff randomly. You know, like production gig. Mackenzie and I both sell vintage clothes online and all kinds of stuff.
And so you've been touring a lot. Matt was saying that you had a period where, because she and I talk about touring all the time, because I haven't done it quite as much. Just been getting back into it a little bit here lately. So I'm real curious about like how that whole process works. And I was asking her how it feels when you come home, and she said that you guys were off for a while, and that like there was a period where you were kind of, sorry by the way if it's weird that she told me this.
No, I don't mind at all.
She said there was a period where you were kind of like, wait, like who am I if I'm not touring?
Yeah.
And that's really interesting because at a certain point it comes to define you, and something I've been thinking about a lot is like, have you ever read Eckhart Tolle?
Yes.
Yeah, like who am I if for whatever reason I lost my voice? Who am I if I lost the ability to write? And like, it's just phenomenal to think about.
Yeah, it's super weird. I mean, you can like really zoom out and look at it and be like, all right, am I any of the things I identify with? And if I'm not, then who the fuck actually am I?
Yeah.
Excuse my French.
I can believe it, or not.
So when I like really look at it like that, I don't feel so bad. When I really remind myself, like, you're none of these things. You're technically really at your core not even a woman, and you're not even 29, and you're not even a member of the Wild Breeds. Like, there's something in you that's way deeper and way more ancient and way more cosmic. But also we're human, and we have bodies, and we have egos, and we get attached to our names and the way we look and who we associate with and our job and our religion or whatever it is. So coming off of like months and months of touring and coming home and not really having anything to do, it wasn't like I expected to get depressed. I just couldn't figure out why I felt like my self-worth had deflated.
Yeah.
And I started to realize it was because my purpose was not tangible. Like on a daily basis, I wasn't waking up to drive to the next show, to sound check, to play, to make money, and to do the thing I love. It was like, well, what do I do if I don't have that? And who am I if I don't have that? And what do people forget? And so I think a lot of artists go through that, and it like forces you to really look at maybe what you're attached to in yourself.
Was there anything that you did like self-care wise or meditation or anything to help like get yourself back in a certain place?
Totally. I was opposed to meditation apps forever, and then I finally got this one called Insight Timer.
Okay, I've done Headspace.
Yes, I had that one for a little while.
You're like, this seems like it goes against what I'm actually after if I'm going on my phone again.
Yes.
What?
But I listen to a lot of Eckhart Tolle in general. That's like my like anti-anxiety.
Yeah, same. He's my guru.
Yeah. But I started doing Insight Timer, and that was helping, but I was feeling more so like I kind of had a broken heart. Like I was going through like a full-on existential crisis, and my mom was like, have you ever considered going on antidepressants? And I just have always been like, no, I'm just not doing it. It's going to change my personality, my appetite, my sex drive, my spirituality, whatever. I'm not doing it. And finally I got to a point where I was like, what if I truly am having some sort of chemical imbalance? And I don't like Western medicine a whole lot, but what if I just try it?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? And so last November, I found a wonderful psychiatrist who does both holistic and Western stuff. And she was like, look, I could put you on a bunch of fish oil and GABA and try to calm you down, or we could put you on Zoloft. And I was like, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And it's actually been one of the best decisions I ever made. And I don't think it's for everyone, and I don't think Zoloft's for everyone, but it just pulled me out of a funk when like I could not see clearly what my worth was anymore or who I was anymore, and it was so loud in here that I was nothing.
Yeah.
And even when something good would happen or something beautiful would happen, I mean, I was in love with my boyfriend, still am, but I couldn't feel any of that joy. And I like fully believe that even the lowest dose of Zoloft like saved my ass, and I don't want to be on it forever. I'm still on it, and I think, you know, a year-ish is like what we've sort of decided on. But
right.
I'm a big advocate now for at least trying it. And if it's not for you, or it's not the right one, or your brain chemistry doesn't like it, then toss it out. But I don't feel like a zombie, and I still cry, and I still have joy, and I'm able to have a little less shitty self-talk. I'm not like, the bully's not present all the time, you know, especially when I'm not doing something. There's this like pressure that our worth is like wrapped up in our productivity. And it's like, it's crippling. And it's
so
such
crippling.
A fucking capitalistic way of living that it's like, it's crippling.
Yeah. Do you get like the social media blues?
Yeah.
See, thank you for saying that, because you're in a band that's doing really well. And like, I mean, I'm in a band that's also doing well, but on a different level. It's really toxic in a lot of ways. It's really great in a lot of ways. I've actually made friends through Instagram, which is cool. And the thing is, on no matter the level, there's that pressure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we all, like, logically, when we talk about it, we all know that people aren't portraying everything on Instagram. They're portraying what they want to be seen, or about themselves, or what they want the world to see. But it doesn't matter. It still tricks our ego, and we still see it, and we're like, their life must be perfect, even though we know that maybe they're only portraying part of it. And I've also just found that, like, that whole thing about desire being unsatisfiable, it's like Instagram was like the perfect thing for that, because you can say something like your band is doing really well, and like in my mind I'm like, we've been together 10 years, never had like a radio single, I'm gonna be 30, what's gonna happen to me?
Gonna be 30. Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's totally ridiculous, but Instagram is like, it like feeds the ability to only look at what you don't have. There's no glass half full.
Every life is beautiful, and even with like struggle, like there's still something to be valued.
Comparison is like the biggest culprit. Like, I've come to realize that Instagram and social media and all of it really preys on comparison, and we found a way to like put numbers to attention. So now you can like quantify the attention someone's getting. I
do think there's a balance. Like there are good things with social media.
There are.
Because back in the day, we would have had to be just like peddling our CDs to label execs. We wouldn't be able to just like put it online. You have access to people, and you can really like utilize that, no matter the size of your platform, for good. Which is why it's really infuriating when people that have really large platforms don't.
Yeah. I feel like we're more connected in a lot of ways, but I also feel like we've suffered the loss of connection in other ways. Like, it's just the price you pay. Like, people don't organically connect as much anymore, but we have the ability now to connect with anyone in the world. So however you look at it, it's really nice to be able to connect with anyone in the world, but it's also scary to walk into a room where everyone's on their phone and you're like,
is there anything else coming up? Do you have any more music videos you're shooting? Are there any like songs you're working on now that you're really stoked on? Or are you just touring?
I'm working on a little bit of solo stuff. I recorded my first solo tune, and I don't know when I'm going to release it, but playing in my boyfriend's band.
Are you guys doing that just because you like playing with each other, or so that you can spend some more time together, so you're not always apart?
It's both, but it's also a necessity. It's like, I need a guitar player, you need a guitar player, you know.
Yeah.
So, and we write a lot together, not like we force each other to, we just are the sounding board.
Yeah.
That's like closest and around all the time. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. The Wild Reeds. Check it out.